Hi, I'm Anna, and this is the R5 Leather Workshop. Today I wanted to discuss some places where you can source patterns for some of your leather craft, especially if you don't feel comfortable trying to create your own patterns at the beginning, which I definitely didn't, and having these resources and places to find patterns was always very helpful. The first thing is a few resources for free patterns. Now, there aren't many of these out there. Most of the time you do need to pay, but they do exist. The first one is from Claridge Leather, and as the time of this recording, there's only a single pattern up on his website for a leather backpack, but it is free. So that is a great place to go look. That might be a more complex project or a project that uses a lot of leather, but it is a free pattern. I'd recommend downloading it even if you don't feel comfortable doing it yet, because it is free. And I believe he has a tutorial on his YouTube channel on how to make it as well. The second place to look for a few free patterns is Make Supply. I had forgotten how many free patterns are available on the site. They have a notebook and a bracelet pattern. They also have several different styles of wallets, from very simple to pretty complex. They even have a bag pattern that's available to you. This is just a wonderful resource, and I had completely forgotten how many free items were available on this website. This is where I first got my first wallet pattern. It makes this simple bifold here. It has two little pockets here and here, and then a slot for cash. This was a great little first wallet pattern. It's pretty simple. They don't have a tutorial, but they do have step-by-step instructions on the website. So a great place for a simple wallet pattern is through Make Supply. That's also free as of the time of this recording. The last place to get some free patterns is bagstock.com. The only thing here is that most of these patterns, or pretty much all of them, are more for 100% fabric patterns, and you would have to make a few adjustments to account for leather as opposed to working with fabric, but they are free and they're probably worth a look, especially because there are some free ones. Moving on to paid ones, Bagstock is also a place to get some paid patterns, and they have a handful of those as well. They have some really neat bag patterns through their website. They're worth looking at as well, and they're pretty fairly priced in my opinion. I think the bulk are under $10, and they're worth kind of checking into. The next place to source some paid patterns is Quarter Leather. He has a lot of great patterns, especially for wallets and other small leather goods. There are a few bag patterns on his site, but the bulk are all small goods and wallets. He also has a YouTube channel with tutorials for most of those as well. And if you follow him on Instagram, Quarter Leather, he will occasionally put sales up for the patterns. I've seen as high as 30% off patterns before there. So he's a really good source for leather patterns as well. The last place is Country Cow Designs. Again, this is another one I sort of stumbled across. They again are largely fabric, but her husband does a lot of leather craft, and he has, as a result, created a few patterns specifically for leather. They have a lovely leather tote pattern that's very unique, and then they have 3 patterns, one for a tote, one for a bag. I actually did buy this pattern from them with rivets down the side, and a clutch. And all 3 of these patterns require no sewing. They're all made with rivets. They're really unique designs, and that's partly why I bought it, because I just thought it was so different. So this is their crossbody bag. Again, it's got rivets down the side, and it's got this flap. Yeah, all rivets, no stitching on this pattern at all. This was a fun one to make. It's a little different, like I said, but check them out just because it is kind of a unique pattern that they have. Lastly is an honorable mention, and this is the website Hemlock and Hide. They sell just their bags, and they will sell their leather scrap. And when they sell their leather scrap, they also post 2 separate patterns for a couple of their designs. The only time though that these patterns are available is when they're leftover leather scrap is available, and their leather scrap sells out almost instantaneously, so it's a little hard to catch it if you wanted to buy one of their patterns, but they're worth checking out. Follow them on Instagram so you know when their scrap goes on sale. So that's really it. I just hope this helps you find some other resources for places to find patterns if you don't feel up to making patterns yourself. So I hope that was helpful, and I hope you find some great resources for patterns. If you have any other resources for patterns, put them down below in the comments. I would love to hear the places that you find great patterns.